Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about the whole Red Forest update because I haven't really talked about this yet. In the recent patch, they did rework the whole Red Forest realm, which includes Mother's Dwelling and it includes Temple of Purgation as well. Those are the two maps. And I have to say, we'll start off with the positives. Visually, they do look very nice and cozy. I will say the visual updates typically don't ever miss on this game. I don't think anyone really ever complains about the art design and the art team for this game because they usually pretty much nail it every single time. So that's great. I think it visually looks awesome. But that's pretty much as far as my compliments go now, because after having played it on it for, a couple weeks now, they're worse to play on now, and they were some of the worst maps in the game already. So Red Forest was notoriously bad because it's the biggest map in the entire game. Everyone wanted this map to be shrunk down, but with the map rework, they just didn't shrink it. It's still the exact same size. If it is smaller, I literally can't tell. It looks the exact same size. I have ran from one end to the other, and it takes just about as long as before. So if they did shrink something, it was completely insignificant to the point I can't even notice it. So it is still by far the biggest map in the entire game, which is problematic because that makes it so killers that have no map control are really, really bad on it. So that is one of the biggest problems of the map, and that unfortunately was not addressed. Additionally, we have these little spots now, where little bushes and trees and sticks are just spawning everywhere. And commonly, because they're everywhere, they will spawn connected to tiles, which vastly improves the strength of that tile. It turns a simple TL wall into a very dangerous loop that you really kind of struggle to chase survivors at if they know it spawns. Now, because the changes are still sort of new, survivors are not always aware that these broken setups can spawn, but I think they need to be addressed and fixed before everyone realizes that, hey, oh wait, this bush is making it so the killer can't run here. This window is now way stronger. Additionally, now there is a straight up infinite on the main structure of Mother's Dwelling. There have been clips on it on YouTube where you can actually jump off the top floor at the right spot and vacuum into a fast vault on the bottom. So there's no stagger, which would normally make it so the killer could catch up. So you drop from top floor, stagger in, or no stagger into a fast vault, and you can continually loop that 3 times. I guess it's not really an infinite, but it's nearly infinite. And that is extremely problematic. And like I said, the clutter everywhere is just so aggravating. Again, aesthetically, looks really cool. It's a lot more of a cozy map now. I like that. But playing on it, if you are a killer that requires line of sight, if you're Blight or Billy or Huntress or Deathslinger or Myers or Trickster, or half the killers in the game require line of sight to be able to do something. And there's just none on this map. There's a rock or a stick or a tree or a branch or something just every 2 feet. And again, while it looks really nice, it's really frustrating. It's frustrating to play on. And this map was already incredibly frustrating to play on because of how big it was, and they just seem to have made it worse. So I think the rework of Mother's Dwelling is just objectively terrible. It's really, really bad to play on. Now, Temple of Purgation, I actually don't have too much of a problem with. But the thing is, I didn't have much of a problem with it before. I thought it was actually a pretty decent map. And since they didn't really change the gameplay of these maps, they changed something that was decent to just something that was decent but looks different. So I'm not really too upset about that map. It's more just making Mother's Dwelling, which was one of the worst maps in the entire game, they made this even worse. So that was really frustrating to see because a lot of the reworks they've been doing have improved things a lot. Although I do want to rant about Haddonfield next because I think they made that map actually even worse. And it doesn't seem like it unless you really go into why it's worse. But that's it. I just wanted to talk about the new Red Forest maps. And yeah, unfortunately, Mother's Dwelling is a lot more unpleasant to play on. I'm pretty sure most of you guys would agree with me. If you've played Killer or Survivor, it's frustrating getting stuck on the 500 things as Survivor, and it's frustrating getting stuck on them as Killer as well. The size is still a problem. So yeah, still all the same issues it had, not really fixed, unfortunately. But that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.